just wanted a little.
Yeah.
I wanted to live here and have a little time.
I wanted to make a living,
But I didn't want to get overdone. I got overdone before I got out. I'm not medium rare anymore. I'm
Well done.
well done.
Well,
But make money. It's gonna make money. Tourism, as he said, they may not buy a new washing machine, but they will take a trip even if they borrow the money.
We had a slight depression here a while back. I was in the scrap business, and I was up, and I bought a lot of batteries up at this golf course, Boyd golf course, you know. And I brought the subject up. I said, well, I guess business has fell off, hasn't it, a little bit? And he said, no, it's booming. He said, when people are out of work, you all go golfing. So
That's
they do have recreation. When they're broke, they take their recreation.
Yeah. See, that's rich. Lifestyle is rich. Money is not rich.
I don't know.
Time. You need time to have a good life. Well, I got time now.
yeah.
The national park's here. We're not going to run it all. I don't care what. That's a yes, no.
I'm getting along pretty good now, but I'm getting the age where the doctors want it all now. Dirty buggers.
Well, Rusty, I'm only 10 years behind you, and I don't know where the next hiccup's coming in.
We got more Dad. I went and got me a box of pills. It cost me $2 a day just for this one kind of pill I'm taking.
Those smart pills?
No, oh no. I used to give a talk to these Boy Scouts. It was called the Turd Talk, you know. It was, you know, there's all kinds of books out on flowers, butterflies, birds, trees, and how to identify them, but there's no book to my knowledge out that the droppings animals make that you can identify the animal. So I decided to have this talk, and I had a little humor in it, of course. Like I had these styrofoam little pellets they use for packing, you know, I call them snowshoe rabbit turds and things like that, you know, all through it. I had little bottles of chocolate-coated raisins, and they look very much like deer droppings or antelope. But anyhow, and I'd give this talk to Boy Scouts at night, and around the campfire, and I'd explain them, and I'd say, now some of these things look so much alike, you've got to taste them to tell the difference, you see. And so I'd open these chocolate-covered raisins, and I'd take a handful of them. So, kid, I got done with my talk one night, and here come a little old kid, and he unscrewed the cork off a bottle and poured his whole handful of prairie dog turds. And I said, well, now, wait a minute, better take it a little easy. I think you're a little young for that, and you need a little experience with it. And made him put them back in the bottle again, but...
See there, you take one of those, boy, you immediately.
But
that tastes like a rabbit pill.
What got me on this? Oh,
well, I don't know. See, you're getting smarter. You're getting smarter already.
Anyhow, but now the ones I'm taking are costing me $2 a day, just that one kind of pill. I'm taking 5 pills. Them dadgum doctors, you know, they were taking blood out of me, a pint of blood every week.
Well, there's a blood shortage.
There is?
Yeah.
No, they said to put it on your roses. Very good for roses. But anyhow, they said, hey, you know, this is what killed George Washington. Leeches taking all his blood. It is. That's what killed him. I said, that was 200 years ago. Haven't you boogers learned anything yet? You know. But they laugh at you and send you another bill. It cost me $15 every time I get my blood took out in Monticello Hospital. My wife was in that hospital down there at Albuquerque last winter when she had them bypasses. No, I had to get my blood. You know what it cost down there? $600.
To have your blood taken?
Now, yeah. Now, you know it's a racket them guys are running. Well, like I say, I'm making a fair living now, but I don't hate to give it to all the doctors.
Well, you better get in the tourist business, Rusty. They're here.
I'm in it.
Yeah, the movies are tourists.
Movies are tourists, and so's the antiques, you see. And I don't. Most of my business is cash. I don't have to. I eat quite a few.
You know, one thing we didn't talk about, 20% of all the tourists in this area are foreigners. And they all know a little English, but they don't always fess because these Europeans are a little different, especially Germans. These guys will come through that gate with all of these signs clear down here that's no, don't park here, no tread private. And then you go out there and you kind of button them. They're looking to get to the river. And they know excuses already. They're sharp enough. It says, you don't read. Huh? They don't speak English. They speak English.
Yeah.
Every one of them. Japanese and all. I mean enough to get by. They don't stop.
German, incidentally, and I start out with them.
I wish I could do that.
Well, just a few words, but then they'll break down and talk to you.
Well, I'm out of tourism now, and the national park can go on, and I live next to a national park and a busy road. I don't care what sign I'm using, Lynn. I can't stop 1% of them coming right on down and sitting right on the end of the runway looking at the scenery. Or set up a tent if I'm not looking.
Oh, yeah.
So that's not pleasing. I'm trying to be private now and not raise any cane.
They don't respect anybody's property.
I've seen it from no, clear up over the top, and now back down to... Now, that's a private individual. I'm not trying to make money. Make money, get into tourism, build a whatever. I know how to make money. I know things to get into right now, Lynn. I know enough about tourism now, and even if I had to borrow the money, I know what to work. I don't want to do it.
You want to get one?
It's not fun to go down the river anymore. It's too busy. It's like a freeway.
Yeah, I might stand up and get one too.
They're talking wagons again.
He's supposed to give me a call.
Where's he is?
Silt, Colorado.
Where?
Silt.
Silt. Where?
Yeah, the other
That's
side
out
of
of Grand Junction a ways
the other
east.
side of Rifle.
The other side, right?
Yeah.
Up near Glenwood Springs.
Yep.
Yeah,
Between Rifle and
I know
Glenwood.
where it is now.
Well,
There used to be a guy at Mac that put the rubber tires on buggies and
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's still there or not.
I don't know
I
either.
thought maybe that was who it was.
Yeah, Bert, if you got to go somewhere, why?
Yeah, the other.
Hey, we're not going to get this park out of here, Burl. So,
No, I don't think.
now I could probably figure out a way how to chisel away at them a little, but I don't want to spend that time either.
Yeah, I'll give up on them. I'll let them do. They close all the roads.
Well-
They said they promised to keep them open, and they go and close them anyway, so what good is it?
Yeah, we've heard that.
Yeah, they're gonna.
But look, Lynn, I'm out now.
They're gonna do what
It's
they want
gone
to do.
past me. It's a little thicker than I want. I had the best there was before the park and during the park with their first original rules that we helped make for them. And through I don't know how many superintendents, we have to train each new superintendent that comes in here.
Well, they keep changing them because they don't want them to get too well acquainted with local
Yeah.
Are you
people.
leaving us, Burl?
Oh, I think so.
All right.
I got to go too. I got quite a
He-
ways.
see
I
ya.
got an
He's
hour
got to
before
go
I
get some tourists and make some money.
Can you drive down?
But Millie was going to come and get me. I'll have her take me home.
Yeah.
Where's she at?
Yeah. But she'll bring your rig back.
She'll be back in a half an hour.
Huh?
She'll be back in a half an hour.
Anyhow, I better go too. It'll be 7 o'clock before I get there now.
Well, we burned up that $500 battery. That's like a 3-hour battery.
Hey, it was nonstop.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll tell you. And when you're talking about parks and tourism, it can be nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get anything that worked
Yeah,
out for you?
definitely. I got way more than I need. That's great.
Well, you can slice out anything you
Yeah.
want, because we got all these memories in our head. It doesn't matter whether we got a duplicate or not. We can come up with this over and over and over.
I had a shock today. I just got excommunicated from a bishop to an elder.
Oh
Oh
boy,
my gosh.
you've been demoted.
I want some more turd stories. I think.
Yeah, boy. Oh boy. Yeah. Well, over these parties we have here, some of those float around in the fall.
We'll get them.
Rusty's been to a few of these things we have here.
Yeah.
And we've had a few strange tourists too.
A few, yeah.
Oh man.
Well, they really, you never know what they're going to do. Some of them, you go down there and the road's 10 feet from the edge, and they start crying and hollering, "Oh, I'm afraid of heights."
Oh,
Others-
I saw a woman in, remember that lady? On the side of Mount Tam, above San Francisco. You know, and there's a paved path that goes around Mount Tam. And the slope is about like that.
Yeah.
And there's rocks there, and it just goes down. And she was on the side of the hill, holding on the rocks, going around this paved path.
People don't have coordination now. They're not physically tuned.
Now, I saw some on the road going up the Dead Horse Point, the switchbacks there. It was the old ones before they fixed and put the new one in. Here's this car parked right in the middle, and these guys was up against the cliff.
Come on
And they were
by
holding
there,
on like
yeah.
that.
Pardon me?
I say these guys that the tourists was up there and they were holding on to the back of the cliff like this, and the car in the middle of us. What's the matter? They said, we can't drive that any farther. And I said, well, get it out of the way before I push it off. Push it off, do anything you want to with it. We don't want it. We're trying to get out of here. And they were along the cliff, edging the way down the hill. I said, all right, I'll drive it down the hill. And I throwed her in reverse and wide open down that hill, around and
We used to
back.
go up there a string of pack animals before the roads, you know, up them trails. And them darn mules would lean in.
Oh, well, they're smarter.
It's
They're
funny.
smarter.
They'd lean towards the cliff.
Hey, Lynn,
Well, there's several of them down below there now, too.
you weren't there, but I think you know what happened. When I found out that Ed had fallen off that rock,
Yeah.
uh,
I was out
we
on-
we
working on the
knew.
movie now.
Fred
What's
was,
this about Ed falling off the rock?
well, a
Ed,
rock. There's a guy fell off a rock down here. He's running a tour outfit, and he slipped and fell off a rock. And Fred had been looking at these all the time. And by the time I got the word, Holyoke, Lloyd Holyoke ran a jet boat for me.
Lloyd, yeah.
And finally he quit and he went to work as a ranger, and he had a radio. So as soon as he came up, he got the word too from Fred, and he knew what was going on. And by then they radioed out, the sheriff got me, and I jumped in that plane, and I went down to see what the problem was, and I lit right there and talked to him. And it was one of those days that the river was full of trash, and that's a jet boat that I built for the park, the first one they had. When you get all that trash, you're sucking it up in there, and it's willows, so it'll get tangled up. Blah, 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 blah. You got to shut it off and pull that trash out.
Yeah.
That's before we perfected what I've got going now. Well, it takes extra gas to get back up on top. He was on a patrol, and he ran out of gas. He'd loaded Ed on the National Park boat, and he was hauling back up, and we had that the hearse down there at the potash dock. And when I flew down there, there was the National Park boat, 3/4 of a mile down around the bend, tied up in the bushes. I lived to see what the trouble was, out of gas. And I saw him waving up. So I says, hey, there's two ways I can do it. I can go home and get gas, or I can just land and pull you up there. It's just three. I lit that plane there. We put a rope on that spreader bar of that thing, and I told that I'd give anything for a picture or pictures of that, towing a national park up with that body, them running out of gas. Now that, I'd like to hang it in their office. And the other one I'd like is their boat upside down. I got a picture of a boat upside down with NPS on the side, dumping all the people out in Cataract. And I'd like to hang that in the office,
Yeah, that'd
the
be,
National Park office.
that'd be good.
Well, you know, down in San Juan, we have one rapid we call Government Rapid,
Oh, yeah.
where the
Yeah, I know.
government cracks up a boat,
Yeah.
too.
We gotta have
Falls.
little funds with the government.
Well,
They can't become experts because they won't leave them long
well, it's
enough.
like I was telling this fellow last night, the BLM, I was talking at the time about them. Did you ever notice that the people that got working for them, putting their 90% or 100% of the locals at least, are people that were unsuccessful in their private business? And they
Yeah.
give up and went to work for the BLM.
Yeah, if you can't do this,
Now-
you can
now it's telling
always,
you how to run business.
you can always government if you can't do.
Oh, you go get me. Yeah.
I used to make talks, and you got to watch how you do it because these superintendents don't like this, but it's true. They are public servants. That is our land. And we hire them and we pay their bills, so we have a right to direct them a little bit, but they don't like those words. So I choose them and step on them, and I define that a little before I get into those, but that's exactly what we want them to know. We got a little right, too, about which way they're going. We
Well,
pay
it's
their
not
salary.
It's not only here. I spent that
Oh,
summer
it's everywhere.
in the Grand Canyon, and I'll tell you what, it's just about like living in Russia because they think they own that park.
Well,
He ran mules to the bottom of the Grand Canyon
They're
for a summer.
ignorant, they're rude.
Well, it's the
And,
problem with the park. The problem with the Park Service is nothing wrong with the park. We need the park. The park is good, and we should be glad to have a park. It's the people that are working for the park do whatever they want to do, and they don't know what they're doing. They have no idea. They came in from someplace else, miles
Right.
away, from New York City.
And they're here 1 to 2
and-
years.
And they're here, and they've never been out of the city. They've never seen any dirt before. They don't even know what a rock looks like. And they come out here and they're making the rules. They have no abilities, no, in this particular thing. They might be good at their job back in New York.
Yeah,
But
like-
they're the ones that are running the park. They're the ones that are telling you right here what to do. And the only ones up the higher staff, the ones up there, they never get out there, so they take the reports that are come in by those people that don't know anything.
Yeah, but here's the thing of it, man, they also have the attitude that they don't have to answer to the public.
Right.
That's
I-
true.
One
And
day,
I'll tell you another thing, and I'd like to see somebody contest it. They are violating, every time they shut one of these roads, or they change the deal out there down in Kennard, they're violating their federal handicap laws.
yeah.
Because they're depriving handicapped people and elderly people of access to the park.
Hey, that's right. I am elderly, and I can't get in there everywhere anymore.
I've
They
ran
shut the
down
road, and I need a
big
car.
argument with him here a while back. I went down and told him that. I said, I thought the government was opposed to segregation. He said, well, we are. What are you talking about? And I said, well, you can't get in this park unless you're a backpacker or a
Yeah.
biker.
Yeah,
The people that paid for it can't get there.
yeah. I don't want to go that route anymore. I want my Jeep.
It's definitely, they're segregating. You know,
Well, I was down there and I came by, and here I saw a big rock in the road, maybe 300 pounds, which is easy rock to roll, kind of round, laying right in the middle of the road. And here's these big tracks out to the ditch and out to the bushes, tearing down the flowers and the bushes and back on the road again and went on. When I got down to the Little Bridge, or Musselman Arch, they call it now,
Yeah.
when I got there, well, here's a ranger parked there. And the only set of tracks, it had rained the night before, was those two set the tracks. And I followed like that guy. I said, oh man, I said, a rock rolled in the road since you came by. Two great big burly rangers there.
Yeah.
They said, oh no, that rock was there when we came by.
Yeah.
I said, you know, we moved the rock out of the road. I said, me and this little old lady here rolled that rock out of the road. I said, how come you guys then, you're the ones that drove over through the bushes.
They got a book and it says OSHA. They can't do that.
I said, you drove over the bushes. If I did that, you'd probably put me in jail or cancel my permit, wouldn't you? But yet you can do it. What right do you have to drive over those bushes when I don't?
They don't have to answer to you.
But there's a 50-foot corridor all the way around the White Rim anyway.
Yeah.
So, and I beat them on it, and they try to get me for
I'll
parking
tell
or
you the
stopping.
people in the park that does the work, and I think, and all the doing work that I've had, that's the maintenance.
Maintenance. I was
Yeah.
getting ready to
Them
say.
boys work good, and
Maintenance.
but they have to fight them damn rangers every time they even look like they're gonna go over a bush or whatever they gotta do. And them maintenance, they ought to get rid of all them rangers and turn it over to the maintenance boys, and then they'd have something.
Yeah.
Cause they're the ones that do the work. They're the ones that clean up the messes and take care of the roads, and they won't let them take care of the roads. One guy down there in Salt Creek, you can see, I went up there, and the water had come down and washed out the left wheel track. And there was a ditch about that deep and about that wide. So he went up there with a backhoe to do something. So when he saw that, he just moved over down the bottom of the voice, where they'd been around there, just moved over and just bladed enough and get it so that, because if you got down in that hole, you was going to get stuck. There's no
Be
question
quicksand
about
and
that.
mud in there.
They sent a whole team down there to check that out because he had disturbed the backhoe vegetation.
oh,
That
up there on the
they
mountain, I
are.
mean, the Forest Service, we had a search and rescue thing here about 3 years ago. And I forget now what it was, somebody in bad shape up on the mountain, and it was snow. And Ben, my boy, is on the search and rescue try to get this guy. And I'll tell you, he thought for 3 years he'd have to go to court over that thing. Never heard a darn thing on top of that snow to get this guy. Drove the cat back. Here was a life at stake.
You see, Rusty, that's another problem. Now that we got the snowball running, the tourists are coming in. We got 2 national parks to protect this thing, however they do it. Now, where are some of the growing problems? One of the majors, there's so many people in here getting hurt, the national park and all the lands out of the park lean on the local sheriff, the local rescue,
Yeah, but the parks
that's non-paid, and these guys are up half the night sometimes. Sometimes there's 3 emergencies at one whack with mountain bikers over the wall, rock climbers that fell off in and out of the park.
Go for it.
What song are we doing first?
Do Eleanor Rigby.
Right? Eleanor Rigby by the Beatles. Ah, look at all the lonely people. Ah, look at all the lonely people. Eleanor Rigby picks up the right in the church where a wedding has been. Lives in a dream, waits at the window, wearing the face that she keeps in a jar by the door. Who is it for? All the lonely people. All the lonely people. Where do they all belong? Brother Mackenzie, writing the words of a sermon that no one will hear. No one comes near, look at him working, darning the socks in the night where there's nobody there. What does he care? All alone. Where do they all come from? All the lonely people. Where do they all belong? Eleanor Rigby died in the church and was buried along with her name. Nobody came, Father Mackenzie, wiping his dirt from his hands as he walks from the grave. No one was saved, all the lonely people. Where do they all come? All the lonely people. Where do they all belong? Ah, look at all the lonely people. Ah, look at all the lonely people. Okay, that was Eleanor Rigby by the Beatles. Yellow Submarine.
Yellow Submarine.
In the town where I was born, lived a man who sailed to sea, and he told us of his life in the land of submarines. So we sailed up to the sun till we found the sea of green, and we lived beneath the waves in our yellow submarine. We all live in a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine, yellow submarine. We all live in a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine, yellow submarine. Next door, and the band begins to play as we live a life of ease. Every one of us has all we need: sky of blue, a sea of green, in our yellow submarine. We all live in a yellow submarine. Yellow submarine. Yellow submarine. We all live in a yellow submarine. A yellow submarine. Yellow submarine. We all live in a yellow submarine. Yellow submarine. Yellow submarine. Yellow Submarine by the Beatles. Okay, You're Gonna Lose That Girl by the Beatles. And my favorite song. Okay. You're gonna lose that girl. You're gonna lose that girl. If you don't take her out tonight, she's gonna change her mind. And I will take her out tonight and I will treat her kind. You're gonna lose that girl. You're gonna lose that girl. If you don't treat her right, my friend, you're gonna find her gone.
Jason.
And I will treat her right, and then you'll be the lonely one. You're gonna lose that girl. You're gonna lose that girl. You're gonna lose. I'll make a point of taking her away from you. Watch what you do, yeah. The way you treat her, what else can I do? Okay. You're gonna lose that girl. You're gonna lose that girl. You're gonna lose. Make a point of taking her away from you. Watch what you do, yeah. The way you treat her, what else can I do? If you don't take her out tonight, she's gonna change her mind. And I will take her out tonight and I will treat her kind. You're gonna lose that girl. You're gonna lose that girl. You're gonna lose that girl. Okay. Okay. I Need You by the Beatles. Last song. Seems appropriate. You don't realize how much I need you. Love you all the time and never leave you. Please come on back to me. I'm lonely as can be. I need you. I need you. Said you had a thing or two to tell me. How was I to know you would upset me? I didn't realize as I looked in your eyes. You told me, oh yes, you told me, you didn't want my love anymore. That's when it hurt me. And feeling like this, I just can't go on anymore. Please remember how I feel about you. I could never really live without you. So come on back and see just what you mean to me. I need you. I need you. Please remember how I feel about you. I could never really live without you. So come on back and see just what you mean to me. I need you. And when you told me you didn't want my loving anymore, that's when it hurt me. And feeling like this just can't go on anymore. Okay.
They should sing the first song again because the fan was really loud.
Really? Is the fan off now?
Yeah.
You want to do that Eleanor Rigby again?
Oh, all right. Yeah, sounds good. I messed up a few places. Okay, Eleanor Rigby by the Beatles. Ah, look at all the lonely people. Ah, look at all the lonely people. Eleanor Rigby picks up the rice in the church where a wedding has been. Lives in a dream, waits at the window, wearing the face that she keeps in a jar by the door. Who is it for, all the lonely people? Where do they all come from? All the lonely people, where do they all belong? Father Mackenzie, writing the words of a sermon that no one will hear. No one comes near, look at him working, darning the socks in the night when there's nobody there. What does he care, all the lonely people? Where do they all come from? All the lonely people, where do they all belong? Eleanor Rigby died in the church and was buried along with her name.
You kept a straight face.
That was pretty good, Jane. You missed it.
Jason,
That's a great little. She comes at one point. Jason's singing, and she comes out of nowhere. You know, he's singing. She comes out of nowhere, and she's like right on the edge of the frame. You know, and she's like this, and all you can see is like this, and it, you know.
You almost think she used to play vaudeville.
Really funny.
Hey, she's got teeth. Look at all the teeth.
Wow.